You are in the zone with Swagman, Cranky, and Snoozy. Welcome to another episode of In the Zone. Now, before we get started, we always have a disclaimer. Cranky, take it.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are purely those of the individuals voicing them and do not represent the values of the sponsors or the platforms on which this podcast is hosted, which at the moment is just about fucking all of them.
I was just going to say that everyone's gone snowflake style, so that's nearly everyone. You can't say boo anymore, apparently, without someone wanting to sue somebody.
Well, maybe someone's trademarked the phrase boo as well.
Oh, hang on, we can't say boo.
A boo.
Oh no.
A boo.
A boo. Oh, Jesus. So, latest assassination. Our topic today, by the way, is going to be Shonky traffic controllers, which you guys thankfully took the lead on when I was away and also copped COVID. So thank you for covering me while I was away.
It's been a whole fortnight full of hospitals for you, hasn't it, Swagman?
Oh, it has. Between going to hospital, being sick, and then internal bleeding and COVID and just the holiday worked. It was good to get away. But then the hotel was not even a hotel, it was a motel. The picture was so deceiving. So, lesson learned, do your research on the place you're staying at.
Motel, holiday Inn.
That's literally what it was. I kid you not, the first night was all right. It was great. The second night we stayed, we got back to our motel, and we had, and to put this in the politest way, an escort next door to us, and her door was just open, close, open, close, open, close, till 3:30 in the morning. Now, we got back there about 10 o'clock. So we were at a mate's house until 10, got back to the hotel at 10. So we left there about 9:30 at his house. And all we heard for the next few hours was door opening, closing. On our wall, which, mind you, it was a exclusive king room, had a massive crack down the side of it, and all we heard for hours on end was her banging against the bed, getting it on with multiple blokes.
The wall's not the only thing that had a crack in it.
And then at 3:30 in the morning, she thought, okay, it's time for a shower. First shower in the whole of multiple doors opening and closing. Her first shower was 3:30 in the morning.
Maybe she needs some of that on-track meal Summit bars to get her through the evening.
I just thought with the amount of opening and doors closing, like you would have showered in between, but it was like they were lining up outside of her door and she was just walking in and out.
Hey, look, it's like driving Uber, okay? Sometimes you hold on to your pee for like 5 hours because it's just a busy night, dude.
Yeah, it's just a busy night. Is Uber making money? Like, do Uber drivers make money like Uber food drivers?
Uber Eats drivers, but yeah, I mean, you look at what they ride and then you're like, okay, I can see how that's a sustainable income for you, but I couldn't go back to doing Uber full time.
No.
Fuck that.
Was it? And what were you making? Like when you were doing it, like if you were to do that job, say full time, how much money could you make out of it?
It depends. If you're willing to sacrifice things like your nights and family time and stuff like that. So if you're a single bloke and you don't have much else going on,
it's good.
you could probably cut about $3,000 or $4,000 in a week. But you really got to sacrifice everything. Like those dudes don't have any friends. Driving is all they do, and they just drive their car into the ground. Basically.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about doing the Uber Eats thing just to bring in some extra cash, because I'm obviously like retired at the moment. So I was like, what? Like, I just wanted something to fill in the day. And I thought, between doing the podcasting, running social media, marketing for people's businesses, like I do a whole lot of marketing, social media spreading and all that sort of stuff for multiple businesses. I thought, why not Uber Eats?
Is there Uber Eats in your area?
Yeah, there is. I had someone turn up in a V8 and I thought my neighbours are going to love me. I was like, this is ridiculous.
And how long does it take for somebody to respond to your order?
Yeah, it depends on how busy it is. Sometimes it can be within 15 minutes, but sometimes it could be up to an hour. So it's like...
There you go. Go and do Uber Eats. You're going to get fucking flogged. Believe me, you'll make a decent amount of money doing that by the sounds of it.
I'm wondering how much they get paid per delivery. Like, are they only getting like $4 or $5 a delivery or something? Maybe
it depends. It depends because Uber Eats drivers now do packages as well.
Yeah, right.
So if you're in a car, you could get a package, and that can be like you could be going from Mandurah to Perth.
Yeah, no,
that
so
package, and that'll be a couple of $100 right there. So you know, it's an hour's drive, and you sign off because you've made your money for the day. You fucking
that's it. You're laughing.
Yeah,
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about Uber Eats. That'd be kind of cool. I'll have to look into that. That'd be something I have to look into.
Yeah.
But Shonky builders, Shonky traffic controllers, Shonky builders. You get lots of those as well.
Oh boy. Do we see all of them, especially as an Uber driver?
Oh, 100%. Shonky traffic control. Now, I can tell you now, the ones in that I seen today heading to Fremantle, I wanted to stop. If I didn't have my kids in the car, I would have stopped, turned around, taken photos and uploaded it. There was signposts that, like, so you're coming in and all of a sudden it says 60.
Yep.
And then, like, not even a meter, 2 meters, it just drops to 40. And I'm sitting there going, like, this is ridiculous. The whole setup was a joke. And then they just left a sign on the footpath, not even on the opposite side of the footpath, saying pedestrians use the other footpath. So they're going to cross the road, see the sign and go, hang on, I'm going to go back across the road. Don't use the footpath, because then they've just put fencing all the way down the footpath. And I'm sitting there going, so you've got signs dropping from 60 to 40 within a meter. Then you've got all this fencing up. Like, it was a joke. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
They literally had that 60 roadwork and then 40 roadwork, like, right behind each other.
Pretty much right behind each other. Like, it's... You may as well have gone out and got a greenie instead of greenie done that job.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Snoozy's got something she wants to add here.
Yeah, what are you?
I've seen that before. Like, not even the correct spacing, but not even just the correct signage. Like, you can't just throw out a 60 sign and people not like have some pre-warning as to why they're doing 60. Because
the best one I seen there today was it had the sign and, the traffic signal sign that, tell people that you're coming up to a traffic signal stop instead of a stop that. There was that with a 60 sign. That's why I wanted to go back and take the photo. I'm like, oh my God.
So if you're going to go through the sign, I expect you to go 60 kilometers an hour straight through it.
Yeah, straight through it. That was the best one I saw today. I just went...
People that do that are just the bane of my fucking existence.
Yeah, no. Talk about Shonky. That just led to me going, this is 100% a greenie. Or they just ran out of signage and went, yeah, fuck it. This will do. Slap them together.
Oh,
the Sunday antics.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, speaking on antics, my Sunday motel trip. We finally got to sleep at 3:30 in the morning. So yeah, we left kind of early. We left at 6:30 in the morning. We were done with that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd have put the tent up on the beach somewhere. You notice how carefully I chose those words. I didn't say I would have pitched a tent. I said I would have put the tent.
I was just about to pull you on that, so you sure you didn't pitch the tent on the beach? Yeah. Now, what kind of beach were you at? Because there will be a difference between whether you were camping or whether you were fishing.
Makes me think of those summit bars.
Now, speaking of on-track meals, I've ordered a couple of those just to see them.
That's it, ontrackmeals.com.au/in-the-zone, and promo code is in-the-zone10, which Swaggy tried the other day, and it works.
Yes, it works. It works. And we generated $10 from that order. So
Don't forget the 10, Swagman.
don't forget the 10, because I'm sitting there trying the code. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, in the zone. I'm like, why is this not working? In the zone, error. In the zone, still not working. So I've messaged Cranky and I'm like, man, are you sure we're sponsors? Because this code is definitely not working. He's like, have you done in the zone 10? I was like, of course I've done in the zone 10. It's worked. Here's a screenshot.
Oh, boy.
So in all of that, yes, I got like basically 20% discount on my order. But then we got, I think it was like $10 something. We get that back. That comes back into the show to pay for all the subscriptions of the podcast. So,
which there are a lot of.
There is a lot of. So please, if you're gonna go to On Track Meals, use that discount code, because not only are you then supporting On Track Meals, but you're supporting us as well. So it's like a donation, but you're getting something. We're getting something in return. So On Track Meals. Yeah, so what have you got for us? What have you guys been up to? I've been out sick, so I haven't really done much driving apart from being down to Albany and seeing 4 walls of the hospital. What are you guys been up to? I seen your podcast the other week. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
It was really good.
It was all snoozy.
It was all snoozy.
Like this week's been a lot better. Unfortunately, I didn't find any rattle guns or anything this week, but yeah, no, it was a pretty good week actually. Bit of travel and stuff, which was all right. That's not too bad.
No, that's
you spent a little bit of time down here too, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, down southern Sydney ways, down towards Wollongong. Yeah, all the good places. Then 2.5 hours back home.
Oh, wow. Speaking of the Shonky traffic controllers, I should have probably mentioned this before. We decided to start up a Shonky traffic controllers Facebook page.
That is correct, we did.
Basically, to go along with our podcast, decided to get everyone onto it. And I kid you not, within a day or two, the members just grew and grew. It went from like 20 to 50 to 100. We now have 342 members. Mind you, I've probably blocked about 40 odd members as well. Check out Shonky Traffic Controllers. Thank you to everyone that's jumped on Shonky Traffic Controllers as well. It really goes to show that the In the Zone podcast is working with the Shonky Traffic Controllers page. Obviously, they've heard about us on the podcast and they've gone, oh, Shonky Traffic Controllers, jumped straight into it.
I wonder why that might be.
Yeah, so, and I did actually, I was Googling through because I was like, what sort of picture can we use? And I come across the one that's up there now, and I was like, yes, that is the main picture. I think it's been a while since I've seen that method used. That's just, my view on that is just pure laziness. How do you not just put the other leg in?
Using the sawhorses.
Yeah. Why would you not just put the other leg in just to even it up? Like, I literally typed in Shonky traffic control, went images, and that popped up, and I went, that's a classic.
That would piss Adrian Monk right off.
100%. Could you imagine it? He'd be going down the freeway, just putting the other legs on, and then he'd have to straighten them all up, and then he'd be like, oh no, it's It's going around a bend. It's not straight. We've got to make it straight. And he just continued the line straight.
Then he'd have to do that thing that he does where he has to touch every single pole he wants.
Oh, that would be so good. Shout out to Adrian.
Due to budget cuts, we can pay for sandbags, but not for bloody on the legs.
Yeah, sorry, we're down to sandbags, no more legs. I've heard of companies running out of signs, but running out of legs, Jesus. If anything, you should be overloaded with the legs and have lesser signs. But yeah, we'll go with the theory.
What is it with the sandbags? No one ever has enough sandbags.
I think it was the wind, but they clearly had a lot of money to spend on sandbags. So they went with the sandbag idea. I don't know why you wouldn't just go with a hard barrier. Right.
They've got to have in excess of like 30, 40 sandbags.
Yeah, easy, because it's on both sides of the roads as well. Like, it is so many sandbags. I've never seen, like, I've used the weights that you can get. So there actually is weights you can put on your legs, and they're better than sandbags, believe it or not, because you can add more than one weight on the leg to keep it down. You don't need to waste money on sandbags. As much as it's easy to go across the road and probably dig a hole, fill up the sandbag, just use weights.
You guys will actually love this. Snoozy would remember this the other day. I think it was the middle of last week. It was really windy here in Sydney. Right, like insanely windy. Okay. Now, I had all of my sandbags out. I had all my bollard bases out holding the signs down. It got to a point where I was grabbing chunks of asphalt that the guys had dug up and put down on the sign to stop the fucking things from falling over.
It was.
So somebody used their brain.
It was like it still is pretty windy. Like from where I am, like I'm working down in Sydney tomorrow, and I'm just kind of dreading. I'm like, I've only got 6 handbags. At this point, I'm going to have to makeshift something. I don't know how. I'm going to have to makeshift something. But yeah, it was crazy windy. Even we sometimes have to use those larger highway signs, and even just those weights normally just like the weight of those signs normally just hold them up. They just come straight down, and because they're hinges and like the legs are a lot bigger, like you'd think it'd be more stable. Nuh-uh. Nope. So yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting, and because I think it's even supposed to be windy again during this whole week for us. So
there's windy and rough all of this week as well.
Are these box edge signs you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you're kind of limited in what you can use as a weight. You can't just like do what I did and grab handfuls of asphalt and walk them up the road.
No. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
See how it works.
Gonna have to like put stacks of cones behind the sign to keep at least one side down.
Then the contractor comes out and asks you, sorry, go on.
Talking about Shonky traffic controllers, last potty I was talking about how a TC was standing in the darkness in the middle of a site with no extra signage for himself.
Yeah. Just like this company that's on our Shonky traffic controllers page at the moment, where they've set up a pre-warning sign at the job site instead of prior to the job site.
Is this the one, one of the most recent posts? I don't know whether I can name.
The most recent, 19th of July.
Yeah, that one. So I know that road pretty well up here. And you know what? I'm somewhat surprised because I see this company around and I expect good things from it because I've seen good sites. But that was just disgusting, and considering how there's fuck all lighting on that site, especially that road that it's on, because that road is so dangerous, especially over nighttime. People scream up there, and the fact that there's no pre-warning, they should have like another ute with a sign up saying, like, at least if they're doing mobile works, they've got to really revisit that TGS.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon there's just so much skimping on money at the moment. Like, the contracts must be so bloody tight that they're just skimping every way possible. But then you would think the traffic controllers that they put onto the job would have the brains to go, I shouldn't be at the site for pre-warning when the job is next to me. I should reverse. Like, you would think some form of common sense would kick in to pull back somewhere, but
then the only other consideration as to why I think that they'd be so close is for lighting for the bloody workers, because there's no other lighting for it.
There's no other lighting. That's literally the only other thing I can think of. Are they using the lights or?
All it takes is either another truck, like I know this company has smaller trucks with signboards on the back.
Yeah.
Another truck or another vehicle with something, because as you can see, there's no street lights on this road. There's like nothing. It's just so dark. And unless, someone actually has, their wits about them at night time, they will not be complying to the road speed at that time of night. And coming to see that when they've literally got...
I reckon they'd be in breach of their TGS as well. I can't see any of Main Road's permits or approvals or even anyone approving that for them to be sitting that close as pre-warning. I reckon there's probably 3 or 4 utes on there, and last minute they've pulled them off to save the cash for the contract. So then the company's
quite possibly
out of it. So I reckon they've gone, oh, yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that. But all it takes is the local council or a work health safety inspector to drive past that site and go, hang on, that's not right. And then you've just popped up on their radar. And the last thing you want is an inspector popping up on your fucking radar for your company, because they're
around here. Around here, I was off work and I was driving through a site that was on a ROL road, right? And someone from RMS drove past. They were on bat when it was just a lane takeout. They were on bat with no other signage. And he's pulled over and gave him a fair warning about it. They were so lucky, because I was just sitting there watching it because I was waiting for a mate. Sitting there watching, I said, this girl is going to get her tickets taken off her for sure. For sure.
But they can stop a whole job there and then. They can stop your job. They can take your tickets. You once you pop up on their radar, there's no coming back from it. If you get on the inspector's radar or on the local, what we have over here, Main Roads radar, and their compliance officers, if you fuck around with it, they'll make your lives a living hell. They'll shut the doors of your company faster than you can think. So, it's all well and good being a Shonky traffic controller company. Yeah, keep doing it, because when the inspector turns up on your door, you'll be sitting there going, but why? They can literally shut the doors of your company, stop your jobs from going ahead, which means you've just lost all your contracts, because your clients are going to go, well, hang on, why are your doors closed? And you can't just go, oh, we're just revamping, because the notice goes out in the mail. Everyone will find out you're being investigated. So you don't want to be on that radar.
It's kind of like living in a small town and getting on the wrong side of the local policeman. You just know that guy's he's gonna target you for everything.
And a lot of these guys are hard trippers. There's some good inspectors out there, and there's some great Main Roads inspectors out there. But you've also got those inspectors that believe they've got a police badge. And in a kind of way, they do, but they're not police. But they act like they are. Yeah, a lot of them used to be. A lot of them used to be cops, but the problem is they come into this job thinking they're still a cop. That they've got the power, and they do this, do that, and so they act in that way, and they make your life hell. But if you know the ins and outs of your rights of it, you will know that they don't have as much power, but they still have the power. If they find enough evidence, they can still close the doors. Yep, and that's it. You'll lose all your contracts. So you're better off not skimping and trying to go, oh, we'll just get away with it, because whether they're off duty, they just driving through your site and see something, they will fucking stop. And they will pull that person up. And they will stop your job that night. You can lose money that night.
I know firsthand. I've had that happen.
Yeah. So it's
not
just
for a job run by me, but a job I was working on.
Yeah.
But anyway, carry on.
Yeah. So it's just not worth it, because whether they're on duty, off duty, they're still on duty. It's like a police officer. They're off duty, but they're on duty. Like they're not going to.
They have a duty of care.
Correct. They don't want to do the job, but they will enforce it if they have to, and that's what these health inspectors are like, work health safety inspectors are like. If they deem something so serious that they need to intervene, even though they're off duty, they will, and they'll stop the job, and you're up shit creek. So there's no point getting away with it thinking, oh, well, no one's going to notice us, because by the off chance of that happening where they run past and see that site, like I certainly wouldn't want to be that person on the other end, because they'll pop quiz the traffic controller, they'll ask them how much experience they got, they'll want to see documentation, and if you can't start ticking those boxes, oh my God.
Which there are two things that I want to bring up, right? First of all, you mentioned ROLs before Snoozy, so I would like to bring this to Swagman's attention. This week has been a first for Snoozy. She did her first ROL job.
Oh, right. Really?
Yeah, I did my first, because most of the jobs that we do are just on residential council roads. So, a little bit less stress, But first ROL the other day, and I was freaking out a little bit. I was like, I'm always the type of person, I'm like, I want to be half an hour early to site so I can do this. And I'm like, I can't even do that. Like, I can't even That was slightly embarrassing, but thank you for the applause. I'm always like, even just to residential sites, I'm like, I want to be half an hour early, because if the boys are there, then, I need to be there, type of situation. And doing the ROL, I was like, fuck, like, I've got to wait until this time to make the ROL. And then I was like, and then where it was, there's like no parking, right? It was at Olympic Park in Sydney.
Yeah. Oh, no. So that's busier.
And so there's no parking, and I'm like stressing out. I'm like, where am I going to wait so I can activate this ROL, so I can set up, so I can do this? It was just a lane takeout, but still, I was still stressing. And I'm like, I've done this for so long. Why am I stressing about, activating this ROL? It's literally just one more step before and after the site. I was like, but
remembering that you've got to activate it and deactivate it.
Yeah, that's
at least, Cranky, I remembered to deactivate the site as soon as I finished.
Yeah, when you tell me the story where someone forgot to even open it, like even activate it.
Yes, I was. Funnily enough, the guy who used to drive the ute that I drive now, right?
Oh, really? He lost his job.
Yeah. Lost his job, not because of that, but
something else.
He was working on an ROL road. Okay, and I knew this. He'd called me about it the night before, and I explained to him the step-by-step process of activating the ROL, or as we in the old days used to call it, ringing on the ROL.
Yeah.
Right. Swagman might have been around for those days, ringing it on.
You have to ring up and literally.
Yeah, actually had to call them and I could talk to them and everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the big day comes, and this guy he calls me at 2:30 in the afternoon, and he's like, "How do I deactivate the ROL?" And I'm like, "This is bad news."
Yeah.
Because immediately I'm like, if you don't know how to deactivate it, it means you didn't fucking activate it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, okay, so Jason, what you have to do, you remember the link you used this morning? And he goes, let's just say for argument's sake, yes, I do. And I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, no. He hasn't even activated it.
So this story is actually right in line with today's subject, Shonky traffic control.
Shonky traffic controller himself.
I would much rather bear this like little bit of stress. Like now that I've done it, I'm not scared of it because I'm not like before I was like, ooh, ROLs, but now I'm like, I actually kind of enjoyed it.
It's just a permit.
It's just a permit.
It's just a permit you've got to activate online.
Still, I'm like stressing out that I can only be here from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yeah. Like for the ROL that we got the license for, and I'm like, but you know what? The boys didn't even turn up. So I did this beautiful setup for this lane takeout on this main road, and the boys didn't even turn up. So they would have
get you 4 hours.
I got sent to another site after. So I've gone in, deactivated the shift, and we'd only been there for like 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Waiting.
Yeah.
And then that's when I got sent down, and I got to do another first. I know, another one.
Oh, really?
Got to operate the boom gates.
Oh, new one.
There it is.
You go.
But that leads me to something that's relevant for Shonky traffic controllers or Shonky construction in general, right? So I know that obviously in your training you know how to operate them, but whether you use them on sites or whatever is a totally different kettle of fish, right?
Yeah. So
for the particular client we have, you need a minimum of 3 traffic controllers. It's part of their swims. It's a agreed, situation. So we have a minimum of 3. So after the ROL, I got sent down to this other site, and there was only 2 traffic controllers operating the boom gates. So I know that it was fine. You can operate both off one remote, like if need be, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I've gone onto site, signed on to both the company I work for and our client swims. Everything was all good. Started work, and then their supervisor goes, "Do you really need 3 traffic controllers?" I said, "Well, part of our swims, yes. Like our swim states 3+ traffic controllers. Yeah. So that is our requirement to have 3. Like it's just how it is." He goes, "All you have to do is stand in the middle and press buttons." And I'm like, "Yeah, but also I know that you guys are off the road, but you're working across the road, across a footpath. So I want to be able to make sure that there's a set of eyes glancing around, ensuring that everyone's safe, right? Yeah. And then someone else relieving for breaks." And because I wasn't supervisor on that site, I've just stepped back and I'm like, so you think you have the the gonads to say how to do our job when you need to focus on your job, and you need to be able to look at the swims that you guys have supplied us to ensure that we're doing our job safely.
Yeah.
So, that just kind of led me, it was a Shonky situation because, we get sent, and everyone else knows, if your company sends you somewhere, they're sending you there for a reason. They're not just sending you there to fill time. They're sending you there for a reason because they've got to quantify why they have this many people there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that was kind of my thing for the week. But, yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good setup.
Yeah, so I believe. So now I'm going to tell you guys about a shit show not traffic controller, but this guy was a builder, but he acted like one of us, right?
Yeah.
So I was working on it was an emergency call out in Artarmon. Now I don't know, Swagman, you might not know Artarmon. It's one of the. It is Sydney. It's one of the more affluent suburbs of Sydney. Like literally, I was working.
The big word of today.
It's
for anyone that's not illiterate.
Right outside the Audi and what else was it? Let's just go with Audi and Skoda did.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they're building a parking lot off to the right of the dealership, and they are the ones that called us. Somehow they managed to. Somehow a gas leak came into being. I'm not going to blame anyone here, okay?
Somebody hit the gas pipe.
No, it wasn't actually. It was purely an accident. It just happened to be.
You just farted, or just
some of the glue. Some of the glue got a bit too old and separated, and
okay, yeah.
So anyway,
they need to lube it up a bit for next time. Keep those pipes clean.
This Audi dealership had a car delivery come in, one of the car carriers. So, mind you, this was such a small job for me that all I had was one digger out at the top of this little cul-de-sac and a couple of witches' hats around the truck. Okay, so and I had a stop-slow bat up next to the digger just in case my offsider needed to stop any cars turning down while old mate was offloading cars from the car carrier. Okay,
yeah, right.
So car carrier now needs to exit, which has become a problem for him because there's a whole lot of construction going on and a lot of cars parked in what used to be his personal turning circle.
Oh no, so he's trapped.
So it comes time for him to start backing out. He decides he's going to back out of the street. So I'm like, okay, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, no.
And I look up the street, and what do you think has disappeared but my stop bat?
You're joking.
Okay. Old mate, the builder, is standing in the middle of the fucking Pacific Highway in Artarmon with my stop bat and his damn hand up, stopping both lanes of traffic. And I'm like, I'm standing there going, what the fuck do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? And he looks over his shoulder at me and he goes, I do this for this guy every week. And I'm like,
what?
Not with my shit, you don't.
Yeah,
right?
No.
My offsiders there going, my offsiders run to the top of the street and he's like, oh, I want to see how this plays out. And I'm like, Callum, get back over here. Get back over here, because if there is an RMS camera on that intersection down there, everybody's getting fucked.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, you get back here. We don't need you. We don't need to be seen here. Okay, you're in a uniform. He's not. He can get fucked by himself.
Yeah, he can get
that. See, that's just like the other traffic control site that you were talking about last week.
Hold on. I'll tell you. This goes on. So anyway, as old mate's walking down, holding his trophy, which is my stop bat. Okay. He looks at me and he goes, "What kind of traffic controller are you? Can't even stop a road for a few seconds." And I'm like, "I'm the kind who wants to keep his qualifications, cunt."
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That is insane. I would not. Yeah, you don't want to be seen on camera by main roads or outlets. Because they see you, the first thing they're doing is calling your employer going, "Hey, what's your guy doing?" And before you know it, you've got a full-blown investigation going.
Yep. And it may not lose me my license, but it will lose me my job. And I like this job.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, sorry, Snoozy, you were going to say something. My bad.
It just reminds me of that job on the Northern Beaches that you were talking about the other day with stopping the 3 lanes of traffic on, was it Mona Vale Road?
Crow's Nest, and it was Sydney Road.
Oh, yeah, but it's just the same thing. Like, they don't get it. Like, you can't just stop traffic on an ROL road without, because it fucks everything else up. Like, there's a reason why you have licenses to work on those roads.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I don't and I do this for him every week. Well, you every week are risking your life and other people's lives
just
for the convenience of the guy in the truck.
Yeah, and that's just ridiculous because if he gets caught, one, not only will he get into shit, but if he does hold some form of traffic control ticket, he definitely won't be after the RMS catches up with him.
I mean,
And like
sure, it
what?
was. Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, like, what possesses someone to take it on their own initiative to put themselves in that risk when they're not qualified to do it?
Yeah, it does.
Like, what cover do they have if they get hit by a truck?
I don't know. They got none, no cover. But the thing is, right, this guy has been very lucky so far because I walked up to actually have a look at the area after that, and it turns out there aren't any RMS cameras up there. But let's pretend that somebody from the council or somebody from the RMS just happened to be driving past or in that line of traffic that he stopped.
Good.
Him and his whole site would have been shut down.
Oh, it would have been so good. At least then it would have been one less dickhead running a site. It's just
and like, what happens if someone?
Yeah, no, continue on.
What happens if someone sees, the writing on the side of like your company's logo on the side of the ute? They'll recognize 100%. That as a traffic control ute, and you are stopping traffic. So they do 1-on-1 and then assume that 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden you've got that company getting calls and investigation reports and misconduct reports coming through. Yeah, no. You want to avoid that situation altogether.
I mean, again, it takes me back to my old-time favorite of these instances. I was driving through the back streets of Bankstown here in Sydney, and I came across a roundabout. They'd closed a quarter of the roundabout for concreting works, and well, old mate, this is the middle of the day, mind you, Swagman.
Middle of the day.
Yep. Old mate jumps out. He's got his night wand held horizontally, like that.
Come on, really?
He's wearing nothing but a high-vis vest, which had no sleeves. Okay, he's wearing a pair of stubbies and a pair of thongs.
Holding the cat and a piss as well, on the shoulder.
He was about 3/4 of the way to it, believe me. Okay, and a pair of thongs, okay. And I looked at this cunt and I'm like, you can't be serious. So I just put my foot down and drove past him while he starts banging on the side of my car. My old car was an old shitbox in those days, so I didn't care. So I stopped, I rolled down the window. He's this big Lebo guy. And he's like, when I tell you to stop, you stop. And I'm like, tell me why. There's works going on. And I'm like, first of all, if you understood the first iota of traffic control, you'd understand that it's perfectly safe for me to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And secondly, I can guarantee you don't have any sort of qualifications to stop me.
Yeah. Just drive through.
All right.
Just drive through and see what he does. Go, I'm just going to keep going now.
I didn't know. I did stop the second time he told me. I just wanted to sort of teach him his lesson and tell him what a dickhead he was being.
Oh, mate. I reckon that the best one I've seen so far, and they're not even Shonky, this was a good one, was we're on our way up to Albany, and we got stopped by one of those remote traffic signal things, but there was someone operating. But between that and the communication, the way the site was set up, it was some rural country traffic control company. I can't remember the name of it, but they were really good. So just complete the opposite of Shonky. They were really good. So shout out to whoever that was out on the rural roads there near Boddington doing the traffic control.
Good old Bonnie.
Yeah, they were really good. So that's insane. The way people take safety now. I had a phone call with a safety mate of mine today, literally only 2 hours ago, and he's been doing safety for 20 years, and he's just fed up now. He's fed up with all the companies pulling the piss out of safety, pulling the piss out of the job.
Yeah.
They don't want to take the job seriously enough to care about safety. They just want to do it the cowboy way.
Safety's a second thought these days.
Well, that's it. And there's fewer and fewer people wanting to get into the field, which means eventually businesses are going to go arse up because there's going to be no safety bloke wanting to help them out because they don't want to change. So either one or two things need to happen. Either companies need to start taking traffic controllers need to start taking health and safety seriously because it's the lives of traffic controllers that you're playing with. Or plane up, roll the dice and see what happens when the health and safety people decide, fuck this, I don't want to do health and safety anymore, and you can't get your hands on one. Because by law, if you've got so many people working for you, you need to have a health and safety. And they're changing the laws again to make it mandatory for every company that has more than 25 or 50 employees or something like that. You must have a health and safety officer on site depending on the work that you're doing. So depending on industry and type, these laws will reflect that. And it's just becoming so hard now to do health and safety. It's, people don't care. Traffic control companies don't care. They're putting the risks of everyone. Traffic controllers are getting injured, fatally killed. It's just going to be a matter of time now. It's just wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like one of our clients that we traffic control for, there's normally like a primary contractor and then they're contracted to those people, right?
Yeah.
And normally the primary contractor does have a safety officer on site or another supervisor to supervise the safety on site. So there's a different set of eyes looking at all the contractors on site, including our client and ourselves. And it was it's pretty good having them there because they're not necessarily although we are the first line of safety on a work site, on a construction site or whatever is going on, even though that we're the first line of safety, if they see us doing our job properly, then they're going to be looking at someone else.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think it's a good thing that, they are, sharing the load with safety officers to make sure that people are doing their job correctly and safely. Because, if a traffic controller, in essence, if a traffic control company or traffic control crew are doing their job properly, then what is the point of having them on site?
100%. 100%. And that's
there is no point.
That's the way it should be looked at. You need to have a health and safety officer. I reckon it should be mandatory. If you run a traffic control company, you must have a work health safety HSEQ person within your company. Failure to listen to their advice will result basically doors closing. It needs to become mandatory because they're there to help your company. They're there to help all the traffic controllers and all the whole company in general, keep them out of litigation, keep the workers safe, make sure you're up to code with everything, because a lot of businesses don't understand health and safety because it's complex. It's not easy. Hell, it took me 2 years to wrap my head around it. It is not an easy, and that's just four. Imagine these people that got master's degrees and diplomas, and it's even more complex. Bachelors. It's not an easy field, and people just pull the piss out of it. It's just getting to the point now with why bother? You want to kill yourself? Go ahead, go do it. I warned you not to do it. And then when the investigator comes around and says, well, why didn't you stop? And go, I tried. They didn't want to listen, but I tried. Here's my evidence. So now it's all about work health and safety is all about covering your own ass first and then helping the company. So if the company rejects your help, you can show the inspector that's going to eventually turn up, hey, this is what I told them. This is when I told them, time, date, location, follow-up email, here are my notes, and just hand it to the inspector and go, I tried. And with that evidence alone is enough to shut a company down, because the workforce safety inspector is going to take more weight on what the HSEQ person does, more than any defense that a traffic control company can try and throw at it. And they could say, oh, he's disgruntled, oh, he's just, he's new to the company. They can try, the inspector's not going to give a shit. They're going to say, this guy's trained, he's worked his ass off for that position to get that qualification. The weight is with your HSEQ. They're not going to care how long they've been at that company for, or whether it's their first job or not. They're going to go, he's got the qualification, you don't.
And that's where this, a little while ago, New South Wales brought in this rule of, what do they call it? It's basically saying that the onus for WHS is on you.
Yes, 100%.
As a person. So rather than going, hey, it's on the company's at fault if you fucked up. No, they're going, no. We have evidence here that the company advised you to work in
XYZ
this way, and you've ignored it, and now somebody's injured or somebody's dead. So it
brings up the prime location where the prime example of a company I used to work for 3 days prior said, don't put this greenie in the field, don't put any greenies in the field because someone's going to get hurt. 3 days later, they went and ignored my advice. This greenie got assaulted, slapped straight across the face, punched, and almost run over by a vehicle. They nudged her with the vehicle until she finally moved.
Yeah.
Obviously, the police got involved in all that. But I'm sitting there going, 3 days prior, I just warned you not to do this exact situation, and you've gone and done that. Why would you ignore that advice? And at that point, I quit and I walked away from that company altogether.
Yeah.
So I had enough. I thought, if you're going to ignore my advice and you're going to kill someone, I'm not sticking around to see that happen. Good luck in coroner's court when you kill someone. They're now being investigated anyway by WorkSafe, so we'll see how that all turns out. So I'm following that story real close. But on that note, has anyone else got any stories before we go into sponsorships?
It would be, you said you're following it. It would be good to stay up to date with that.
I'll 100% be given updates, and once that report's finally released, because I'll find out when it is released, I'll get a little email alert that says this report's now completed, which obviously everyone gets that alert if they release it to the public. If I don't hear anything within the next 2 months, I'm going to try and track it anyway to see if they will release it, because I think it needs to be released, and that will then list the company name and all that sort of thing. So I really hope that WorkSafe release that report to the general public for freedom of information, because that'll be awesome to get hands on for stats for everybody here. So,
or even if we could get onto WorkSafe ourselves.
WorkSafe over here are quite strict. When they're investigating something, they won't talk much. And generally their stance on media is go through media relations. But then you'll just get the generic, this is what we're doing. Yes, they're under investigation, X, Y, Z, and that's it. You get the very bare minimum. The same, deflection report as what the politicians give you, the pre-recorded script that you get in your email when you send an email off to them and you get that lovely script back. Oh, but we're doing this, this, and this. It's the same thing with WorkSafe over here. You get the same response. We are investigating this company, but I cannot cannot comment any further on it. That's basically what we'll get.
You're reading it thinking, oh, you really could have put a bit more effort into this. Like, I can see you clearly copied and pasted this from Zendesk. You didn't even bother to put my name in the spot where it says insert customer name.
What I love about these inspectors though is when they release an investigation, it just details everything that happened, and then they if the company was issued any fines or anything like that, thank you. If the company was issued any fines or anything like that, then it also lists that in the report, which is great. So we will get a fair amount of data out of it. I'm really hoping they'll release it. I'm going to chase it up next month and just see where they're at with it if I haven't already get the email. So I've actually subscribed to their email list. Every time there's a fatality or something that happens in the mining construction world, I'll get an alert, comes to my email, because as a work health safety person, you subscribe to all the email channels. So yeah, I'll be the first person, and anybody else that's subscribed to that email list will be the ones that pops up. So
well, that's why we keep you around, Swag Man.
No, keep me around for the good goss that comes in. And on that note, thank you again to our Shonky Traffic Controller members, 342.
But it would be really good, right? And here's an idea for anyone out there who's listening who has the power to do this, to get together something, maybe a website or a database of some sort that's easy for the public to get their hands on, right?
Just list all the incidents that happen?
Yes. It states companies and all the incidents that have taken place.
Yeah.
Within that company.
So so with WorkSafe, they've got a website you can go onto and you can see all the reports that they have released. But you have to dig in so many different avenues to find it.
I was going to say, but WorkSafe, like with every other fucking government website,
make you troll.
You've really got to dig through that.
Yeah. Shit. Instead of going onto a website going, enter. There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
You know, make it simpler instead of, sort of dumb it down instead of making it so complex. But they generally don't want people I don't think they want people to know about them, which is why they make it so difficult to track. Because anyone that wants to be hidden, well, they release it, but unless you can really spend the time digging through all the little links they send you, you got to click here, then you got to go to that section, this section, that section, click here. People don't have time for that. They just want to go, I just want to know the report. Bang, bang, bang. There's the website.
Exactly.
Type in that company. Let's see all the reports on that company. Bang, I want to know about this company. Bang, okay, here's all the reports on that company. I want to know if BGC are liquidated. Bang, BGC, bang. Fucking there's all the reports on that. And it just make it easier.
I think you wanted to. Did you want to say something just then?
No.
Just clearing your throat.
Just,
but just in researching some of the topics that I've come up with for these episodes, right? You learn just how damn difficult it is to find information on stuff.
100%. It is so hard to get the info. It's like you've got the topics, you want to get everyone involved, but then it's getting the data to back it up as well. It's like you're spending hours, if not days, just the whole week just trying to collect all that data so you can bring it all together for the show.
But it's not just searching online, it's also talking to people, right? People that are involved in these companies. So you for example, you are you're a bit more forthcoming with some of the information, but like
a lot of other companies won't be.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to contact somebody a little while ago about one of our previous topics, and this guy's response was just, "Oh yeah, that's good."
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah. That's
nice.
Like
he's just clammed up straight away.
Yeah,
it's like
a lot of people are not on board with wanting to release data. They want to keep it quiet. They don't want to help. So and that's what a lot of people, they think, oh yeah, create a podcast. But we started really small. We had barely any members, and now we've got multiple platforms, multiple listening areas like Spotify, iHeartRadio. What's the other ones we got? You got the YouTube running. Any listening.
And as far
sort
as
of that, we're on now.
As far as a very niche podcast goes, we do all right.
Yeah. This is, I reckon, it's opened up to get people thinking now about the industry, and if they want to learn something about it, they can come here because it wasn't here before. You couldn't find a podcast. You couldn't get the information. It was spread all over. We're placing it all in one place. You want to know about something, shoot an email, shoot a message.
Yeah, please.
Check out our Facebook pages, Shonky Traffic Controllers or In the Zone Facebook page. And all the information's there. You'll get the links to all our episodes on Spotify, which we now have 43,000 of those. I think this is our 10th, 15th, 20th. I've actually lost track of how many we've actually done.
I stopped counting weeks ago. Like, I used to think back.
I stopped counting when we had 500 people, and I was just like, okay, this is going somewhere. And then we're sitting at, I think it was 1.9K now. We're sitting with people following and listening. Like, it's crazy. And, 342 members on Shonky Traffic Controllers.
And
so
hell,
now
we have a third co-host as well.
Now we have a third co-host because now we get the female point of view from it. So it's not just two blokes sitting here bagging on the industry. We've actually get the female point of view of what it's like.
Yeah, that does the exact same thing.
Steals everyone's souls at the same time, but
Now it's two blokes and a girl who sit here bagging on the industry.
Yeah, two blokes and a girl, yeah. Two blokes
equality,
and a woman.
What can I say?
We're going to be equality now. It's a woman. Woman.
Yeah,
we're going to be politically correct woman.
That's correct.
We are non-paid members here. Please support us.
Honestly, yeah, and the ways you can support us are as follows, Swagman.
Yes, you can support us on GoFundMe.
We don't have a fucking GoFundMe. What are you talking? Oh wait, we do. Yes, we do.
We've got a GoFundMe that is on our Facebook page In the Zone, so you can support us there.
Totally forgot about the GoFundMe page.
If you're a millionaire and you're listening to this, you can pay off our mortgages. That will also help support us. But we also have sponsors, Mr. Beast. If you're listening to us right now, please, we would love you to come here and pay off our mortgages. It is very expensive. We have 7 sponsors now. The list is growing from 2 to 3 to 7, so we need 10 minutes alone on this. A new one that I picked up today that I thought I'll give a free shout out to. They haven't even paid us. We're not affiliates or anything with them. Is Bello Bliss. Now, Bello Bliss is a small company, and they do these little soaps. I say they're soaps, but they're steamers for your shower. And what these steamers do is they help get rid of your blocked sinuses or congestion that you might have, and they've got all these different flavors. So they've got one that's called the Cleanse, which is eucalyptus and lemon. They've got another one that's called Relax, which is lavender and jasmine. And then they've got another one that's called Energizer, and that's orange blossom and lime. And that's meant to just completely, and for apparently days after. Now, I've only just ordered my batch. They're due to come in the mail sometime this week or next. But for days after, it's meant to leave your shower smelling amazing. So not only does it help you while having the shower, you get about 40 showers out of the one cleansing steamer. So you just put it into a little bowl, wet it a little bit, chuck it in the corner, and just let it sit there. And that's it. And as you're having the shower, the steam and the smell gets through your sinuses and decongestion.
And then all I have to do when I'm feeling a bit like this, like I'm now, because I have
Bello Bliss
deviated septum.
Yeah. Bello Bliss will be amazing for that, which right now, because it's so cold over here, I can feel my sinuses blocking up. So I wish I had that right now. The other one is a small business owner. Now, I helped this guy last week. He only had 20 followers and 1 like on his Facebook page. And it's called HomeWise Solar. It's an older bloke. I think he's in his late 40s, maybe early 50s, and he does off-the-grid solar system. Now, I have personally gone with him to do an off-grid system because I've done the math, and we spend about $500-$600 or about $500 on our electricity. This system's going to take me 85% off the grid.
Yeah.
So yes, as I was saying, he only had 20 followers and one like or something. I've got him now to like 136 followers and 121 likes. So his pages now are just gone shoom. But yes, HomeWise Solar, reach out to the guy named Steve if you're here in Perth. He'll be more than happy to give you a quote. My system personally costs just under 17 grand, and you can place that on a fortnightly payment with a $4,000 deposit, and that will give you $104 a fortnight that you will be paying on that system alone, and you're not going to receive an electricity bill. Now,
which honestly is like half what I'm paying a fortnight for my electricity bill here in Sydney.
Oh, 100%. And you can be completely off-grid and cut them off if you don't chew through all of your battery. So if you're finding you're only using half your battery, you may as well cut yourself off from the grid. Then you're 100% off-grid with just your battery. The best part is you can also attach another battery to that system. It's also for an extra $1,200. You can attach an EV charger to it. So there you go, $1,200 to $1,500, I think it was. The other sponsor we have is Swag Headquarters. That's all about someone with a goal. If you're passionate about whatever it is you're doing, whether that's business, whether that's health and safety, whether that's, health and mental health, well-being, running a gym, Swag is all about someone with a goal. Suss them out, check their Facebook pages out. Quinton is an amazing CEO. I'm also now on board with them. I am the Swag Media Relations person, so I take care of all their social media. Lakeland Simos is another one. If you're here again in Mandurah, best butchers around by far, I reckon, best priced. He personally catered our wedding. And he also not only catered it, but came around and cooked it. So, 100%.
Susie and I actually want to ask you something about him, right? Because he's a butcher over in WA, and there are a lot of South Africans over in Western Australia. Does he do biltong?
He doesn't personally, but he can cut the meat, and I can dry it out.
It's not the same.
I'm sure he could if you ask him. He'll practically do anything if you ask him. He's pretty cool. The other one, once again, it's in Lakelands, is the Lakelands Tavern. Family orientated. By far the best pub, I reckon. And the Medora Bay pub is by far another one of the best pubs going around. So if you're in Medora Bay or Lakelands, Medora Bay, check out the Medora Bay Tavern. Family owned and orientated. Go there for any of your home cooked meals. Lakelands Tavern. If you're in the Lakelands area, don't want to travel as far, that's another one to suss out. Dizzylicious. I'm saving the best for last. So Dizzylicious. This one's from your neck of the woods, Cranky.
Yes, she is. Well, she's one of my colleagues. She's a baker by trade, and she now sells her goods online too.
Oh, wow. So she's got her own website.
She certainly does.
All right. So,
or at least she's working on said website last time I talked to her. It's there.
It's a work in progress.
It's there or it's happening, but get in touch with her on Instagram if you want any of your cupcakes or cakes or just generally anything.
And the best one that we have got here as well, which we've mentioned them earlier in the show, is On Track Meals.
On Track Meals, absolutely. Get your own track.
I'm excited to receive my big batch. I spent over $100 on my meals this fortnight, or around $100 getting my meals this fortnight. Just to suss it out.
Ordered some as well.
Snoozy, you've ordered some as well.
Yeah, No.
Oh, I'm still waiting as well.
But I'm just keen as I was looking at it with my partner today because like another influencer that we know has a special on some of those meals as well, and we were looking at him and he goes, "Whoa, there's actually like such a variety as well," and I was like, "Yeah, like they're freaking amazing." You could
actually do a fortnight's dinner on it as well, like it.
Yeah, like they do full on breakfasts and everything.
Yeah, they've got everything, and that's what I love about it. Like I was going through it, and my cart was like $300 odd. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to cut this cart down. And I was like, okay, can't get that, can't get that, don't get this. Like I had to deselect from it because there was just so much. Like,
Yep.
Like I went wild with it. And even though my pack had the 5 free heater bags with it, it kept prompting, do you want 5 heater bags for $9.95? Like, well, I get 5 in my pack, so sure, yes, I do. I'm taking off. I'm waiting up for $9.95. So now I'm getting 5 free heater bags. Well, not free, but for $10. I'm getting some 5 extra ones. So for my next round, I won't have to have the heater bags, which is great. Make it a little bit cheaper again. But yeah, they're all the sponsors I've got going at the moment. 92.9, listen to your local Perth radio traffic station. And while you're on your way to work, why not just tune into Spotify and listen to our podcast, which will be uploaded tonight or tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning at 5:30.
At 5:30?
Yep, 5:30, that's right.
Yes. So check out our podcast on the way for the work. It's an hour and 10 minutes, so enough to get you from Mandurah to Perth to be listening to our podcast. If you're in Sydney, I'm sorry, but you're probably going to have to listen to this twice before making it to the city. Especially from where you guys are at. I dare say the traffic is horrendous over there.
Oh, boy. I don't look forward to Monday morning traffic.
Yeah, just listen to our podcast twice. You know, we got a few on there. Get you through 2 hours. You'll make it just in time for work. Traffic starts at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, geez, tell me about it. And there's always some slowpoke who just wants to hold everything up.
I spent so long in the North Connects tunnel. It was 40 k's the whole way through North Connects the other day.
Why?
Congestion on the other side, heading towards the coast. On a Friday afternoon, I wanted to get home and have a beverage. Couldn't do that very efficiently.
That was it. Game over.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Official sponsor of the show, Tui's Extra Dry.
Yeah, let's go.
Please sponsor.
Please sponsor us, Tui's. Free cartons anytime. I've got a bunch of builders that are building our house at the moment that would love free cartons of piss every week. Alrighty, guys. I'm going to love you, leave you. Going to see you on the next website. Thank you for joining us.
Let's actually successfully chuck the music on. But anyway, yeah, you'll love it. Yeah.
What? What are you doing?
That wasn't well orchestrated, Swagman. It could have had a bit of a higher tempo.
Wasn't that our pretty sure that was our exit intro music.
Let's hit this. This is our exiting. Okay, everybody have a good week, and you'll
take it easy, guys.
This time next Monday.
Peace out. Bye.